everybody.
And we're back in Warsaw. Hey, wait a minute. We were trying to pronounce Krakow to Kraków, Wrocław properly. Warsaw is not really Warsaw. That's the American English way of pronouncing it. The real pronunciation of the city is
Warsaw.
which is way different than Warsaw. So, there we go. Warsaw.
Close.
Going to the, what is it, place of culture? It's not a place of culture, but it's something to do with living in the Soviet occupation, so 70s and 80s.
Era after Second World War, basically how a standard house looked like in a city, not like in the small towns or whatever, like in a bigger city.
Started from here. What are these? Looks like an Olympic game. Ah, that showed an ID that's very similar to this one.
Because if you belong to a party, you gotta have an ID that you belong to party. There's other things.
Radio.
Okay.
Which one?
That one. Maybe that one. One but that one.
Oh, okay.
Because I recall holes. And this one.
Tape recorder.
And this one.
This one.
And we.
Look, Apple Walkman. But this museum is really like reliving your childhood.
Just this way. In the houses, there will be a lot of leftover of these things for people that are about my age that they would, or older, they would know this shit, and most likely even younger people. Basically anybody that was probably born in the 80s, anytime in the 80s, and they were old enough in the 90s to see this stuff either at their own parents' still houses or grandparents' houses. Like mid-90s, a lot of changes has happened, so a lot of this has become obsolete because of the technology. So the only generation that would potentially keep it would be the grandparents at that point.
89, 90, that's basically the fall of the Soviet Union.
A lot of happening in Poland in those years, yes.
Let's get physical.
Ooh, and we used to have one pair of these too.
Ooh, rocket pack or vacuum.
Like that. And somehow I recall one of those. So this was the American store, basically, FX. I think in the 80s.
The American store would just be established in Poland.
Don't ask me, I have no clue. I was too small to know this. Back in the 80s, you could buy in that store only with American dollars. How you got those? Don't ask me, I have no clue. But you could buy Barbies, jeans, I don't remember what else. Probably perfumes and things.
That must have cost a fortune.
It was not cheap, yes. Here is school supplies, at least some of them.
Oh, look at that.
The name of the party.
Stroller. Soda machine. Okay.
Stamps for meat, for flour.
So, background to this. Basically, there's not much of food. It's limiting, so you don't like try to empty shelves and
Yes.
everything and so on.
Yes.
So this is a
Yeah.
way to prevent hoarding.
Yeah.
Kids, those are old school laptops.
No, it's not.
This stove is so small, looks like a toy, but it's not.
There's that mirror, which I think I totally remember, and there's that thing goes up.
And then we'll try to get a palace a little bit south to Warsaw. That's Warsaw.
The palace, we're heading for Wilanów. There is very nice gardens around it. We're just gonna be strolling around the beautiful gardens.
So now we're gonna take the bus to that
Wilanów.
So apparently the ticket is only for the grounds, so we can walk around the area but not getting into any
Inside the buildings.
inside the building.
Unless there's a different one somewhere else, I don't know.
So Japan, I got hungry, so I decided to eat. There's this local burger joint.
Place burger.
So I haven't had burger in a while. Kid had a few, not so good.
No, I
ones.
haven't.
Just one?
I want to say one, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't a good one.
It was not. Chicken, that's gross.
How do you know that one's the chicken? Fries.
They look nice. Nice and plump.
So hot.
Fresh.
Hey, look at that. That's a decent looking burger.
So what?
Decent looking burger. Haven't had burger in 2 months.
More than 2 months, because we didn't have burger before we left either.
Good burger.
Worth it?
You are now seeing the neighborhood near the Wilanów Palace. It's also not too far from Warsaw University. The building reminds me a lot of the one we used to live back in Montreal. They were built in the 70s and 80s, and I'm pretty sure these were built around the same time as well.
Face down. Oh, too late.
We are now heading towards Warsaw New Town, Nowe Miasto. Well, it was new back in the 15th century. Today it's filled with shops, restaurants, and movie theaters. Warsaw has changed a lot in the past few years according to locals, and it's no different for me. Back after 7 years, it's a stark difference. I see a lot more international influence, and not just by the big brands. You see sushi restaurants, bubble tea, and kebabs. Oh, there are kebabs places everywhere here. Just look at this one across from the other one. We are turning into Nowy Świat, or the New Wall Street. It's part of the historic royal route, and today, it's the place where you want to be. Full of fancy restaurants, from traditional, Italian, French, Japanese, and many more. They have it all. You can imagine how nightlife would be. But for us, we're getting tired from all the walks, and according to the forecast, it was going to rain soon.
Back in the bus again.
And not just that, it seems like our trip to Warsaw have been ended by rain twice in a row.
And fast, yeah. Especially this time it's a little bit worse than the first time around. Luckily we caught it when we did, ended when we did, because otherwise we would be pretty wet.
Yeah, right. That's how our trip to